Hey everybody, it's Jess with the Chapter 13 exercise over remixing and loop sampling. I did a mashup of Luke Combs' One Too Many, Kelsea Ballerini's Hole in the Bottle, and Daryl Singletary's Too Much Fun. Hole in the Bottle has some vocal commentary at the beginning of the original that I just extracted out and used in a very similar fashion for this piece as well. So, as far as finding a cappella versions of these songs on the good old YouTube, I was unsuccessful, but I was stuck in my ways and bound and determined to use these songs. So I did a fancy Google search and found this a cappella extractor. So you just upload your audio, it'll pull out the vocals, or you can hit remove vocals and it'll pull out the instrumental for you. Now granted, it's a free to use site, you can donate, but it's free to use up to like 7 songs a week or something like that. The point is, it doesn't pop out quite professional grade work. I mean, it's good, therefore I used it, but it was better than anything that I could come up with between Thursday night after class and Sunday night. So I rolled with it. I do have the clips in Session View, and I did record from Session View to Arrangement View, but everything else I did in Arrangement View, so I'm going to zap over there. The vocals tracks has compressor, a filter, this bass mono, which is a utility, and then a drum bus on it. So that site, that acapella extractor site, because it's not quite professional grade, it suggests to apply compressor, filter, and then a mono output on it. So that's why those first 3 are on there. And the drum bus takes this bass. If I remember, I'll try to show this while it's playing. It takes this bass, and if it maxes out about here, it bumps up that output. So basically it's the equivalent to upping the bass on the EQ. But I kind of like the way that this affected the track a little bit better than just applying a bass-heavy EQ. The actual instrumental track has a dynamic tube, that same drum bus on it, and that drum bus adds quite a bit of volume, of course, so then I applied a limiter because that track did get a little loud. And then the vocals for Hole in the Bottle, just a vinyl to kind of give it some crackle, a kick boom, erosion, and then a forest floor reverb, which is automated to kind of sound spacey. The track volume comes down, as you can see here in the automation, and then the forest floor reverb grows towards the end of that little clip, so it kind of gets spacey at the end and just dies off on its own naturally. The only other thing is to really talk about these vocals up here. So these 2 pieces, one of them is in G major, one of them is in, I believe it was F sharp major, don't quote me on that, it might be F major. Then one was 152 BPM and one was 149, so they were really relatively close, but they didn't quite line up right, and even when I put them in here, they didn't line up quite right. And so, let's see if I can find exactly where I did it. I'm going to go back over here to Session View, I think. Yes. So these little transient tabs, they worked great. So I started out, as you can see, just kind of clipping tracks, in a little dead spot and adding some space, which is definitely not noticeable when I play the track, but it is definitely noticeable when you watch it or look at it. So then when I kind of pulled myself together and figured out what I was doing, then I went and used those transient tabs for the rest of it and kind of stretched it out and shortened it up where it needed to be so it would fit perfectly with the track. Taking it off warp and using that, it worked great. It definitely got it down to where it really was really close, but when I was fine-tuning it, it needed a little bit more, so those transient tabs worked great. But I think that's most of it. If you have any questions, I think I talked a little long, my bad. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask in class on Thursday. And other than that, I'm going to give this sucker a play for you guys. Hope you like it.
There are many people who drink in moderation. They learn to enjoy liquor without letting them stand.
Well, I got a call from Rowdy Round 6 o'clock saying he called a hankering for a honky tonk. Wants a nice cold beer and a country song, but he didn't want to stay out all night long. Well, I ain't buddy drink alone, but I can't turn it off once I turn it on. Too much fun, what's that mean? It's like too much money, there's no such thing. It's like a girl too pretty, but too much class. Being too lucky, a car too fast. No matter what they say,